is 9:30 on a Thursday night, and you're tuned in to Rip Radio Network, which can mean one and only thing. What's it mean, Tez?
Hey, you're tuned in to Chip Chat.
That's Chip Chat. I'm Chip. That's Tez.
No,
I said it already.
It's 9:31. That's why
I wrecked the joke.
This is why it doesn't work.
The CEO doesn't pay us in our peppercorns. I had to bring my own peppercorns tonight.
Because we started late.
It's garbage.
That means we'll end on time.
Wasn't our fault.
We'll end on time, though.
That's not a chance. It's never happened. Never happened. Never gonna happen. All right.
Christ.
It's a special,
Really, nigga?
special episode this week. Because we're gonna follow up on something that we have talked about previously on this show in depth. Also, the hearings.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
We have Cleve Oines. He's coming back to the show.
Yeah,
he
welcome
is
back.
the inventor of the pepper cannon. If you're looking on the screen, you can see in the graphic the pepper cannon. This was years in development. We can't wait to talk to him about it. I've got mine. I was an original Kickstarter supporter. Yeah. And
early adopter.
Yes. It's one of the few things that I'm technologically savvy about.
No, he makes
It's like my iPhone.
It's like your iPhone.
It's my level of iPhone.
Got it.
That's good. We've got a salt cannon coming out now, so that's what we want to talk to him about.
There we go.
It's a big improvement, so we'll find out. I ordered one. Well, my wife ordered me one for Father's Day.
I love salt.
It has not arrived yet.
It has not.
No.
That's all. I mean, look,
Shameful.
man. It's not shameful. There's a lot going
No,
on.
there's a lot. We got to find out about it, but there's a lot.
There's a lot. I'm going to ask him some questions around that. Actually.
We've got all kinds of stuff. We are going to talk about the hearings. We've got news. How do we do it? News.
News.
We've got news. There was hearings today. There was hearings a couple of days ago.
I missed
We've
those
got
ones
all kinds of. Don't worry, it's all here.
Got it.
Maddow called me earlier. I read it to her. She did her show, so it's just going to mirror that.
Got it.
She stole it from us.
The best artist, Trace.
Yes, and I think you won some stuff.
Yeah, I was a part of a winning team.
That's true.
That is, yeah. So,
not the DC Divas this week.
Not this week.
No, and not the Nats.
And the Nats don't win anymore.
No. But we're going to talk about your win.
We are going to talk about it.
We can talk about that.
Win for Ward 5.
There you go. It's good for everybody. All right, well, it's a lot of stuff. You got a word?
Woo, I usually come prepared with a word. I do not have a word.
I've got a word.
I got a word.
Okay, we'll see if this works. All right. So sit back, grab some
votes.
It's justice time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Ripped Radio Network.
Sweeps. Time to start late.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Ted.
Sweet.
All right, so right before we came back from the break, I was about to tell everybody in the studio audience here something that's really important that I want to give the listeners a little backdoor information, a little inside info about how things happen here at Rip Radio. All right, you ready for that?
Yeah, a little behind the scenes.
Our producer, Brian, the white guy on the network,
right,
makes videos for us every week out of what we, spew into these microphones.
Yeah.
He makes it into something decent.
Yes.
What nobody gets to see, but that I think is the best part of that whole arrangement is the names of the files.
Oh, I don't even get to see.
You don't even get to see that.
But I can imagine.
Send you these.
I can imagine the names are very funny. Give me a few of those.
They're like
names.
those sub titles on a book that make it even better.
Okay.
So I will show you some examples during the break, but suffice it to say, chef's kiss to Brian on the titles from last week's clips. They were dynamite. In fact, I think a couple of them made it through on the Twitters.
Okay.
So go check those out.
I'll check it out.
All right. We're going to do things a little out of order this week because we've got our guest and we really want to spend a little time with him. So we're going to do the rundown right now. Now, the rundown is part of the show where we tell you about some stuff that's going on in the news.
There we go.
All right. This story is a very local story to us. It's very important to us, right? Because it took place in the Capitol, which is where we live. You know that?
Yeah.
We live in D.C. and it's, surrounding areas, and the Capitol is important to us.
Yes.
Also,
it's a great place.
It's a great place.
It's a great place.
It's apparently not as accessible as it. There was a thing. There was a dust up.
We do got tours. A little dust up.
You want to call it Barry Loudermilk?
I like to read out there.
Yeah.
When the gate's not up.
Right. We're going to talk about various gates.
Oh.
Somebody else likes the Capitol. The good folks over at Stephen Colbert's The Late Show, right?
With Stephen most Colbert? Youthful thing on CBS.
Yes. Which, he's in his 50s. So, I'm a fan. I like Colbert. Interestingly, my in-laws, the staunch Trump supporters that they are, definitely loved the first version of the Colbert Report because they didn't get that it was a joke. They thought that was real.
You know what's interesting? Between him and Jon Stewart, a lot of people trusted them with their news.
I was at the rally.
Over traditional news.
As we've mentioned on this show, do not get your news from us.
Yeah, please.
That's a thing Stewart used to say a lot.
Yeah.
Stop watching me for the news. This
but
is
everybody seems to believe. Yeah, they believe him.
All right. So anyway, Colbert sent his team of producers and importantly.
And the dog. What's the dog's name?
Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, which is an old Conan bit. This is Robert Smigel's puppet joke. Right. He was on SNL and all. It's very funny. He sort of does this kind of like Don Rickles routine where he's a Rottweiler chomping on a cigar and he insults the people that he's talking to. It's very Catskills. It's hilarious. Really great. So they went there and they had all these prearranged interviews with all these Congress people and staff and all this other kind of stuff. They want to talk about, the Capitol and the insurrection and all this. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
We spent 2 days there. At the end of the second day, they were still with their various Congress people's offices, but they had to shoot some additional stuff in the hallways.
B-roll stuff, yeah.
B-roll stuff, basically. And so they were hanging out and they overstayed their time. So the Capitol Police, dutifully came up to them and said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And they're like, "We're shooting B-roll. Here's our rubber dog with a cigar." And they were like, "That looks much less dangerous than a sharpened flagpole. Could you please leave?" And, whatever. And they're like, "Do you mind if we finish the thing?" And they're like, "All right, now that you asked that, we got to book you." So they took them out and they escorted them out. They processed them and said, "Don't overstay your thing next time." No big deal. Innocent enough story. Kind of funny.
Yeah, it feels like something that you would Sacha Baron Cohen would actually get caught up with.
It's very much that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The controversy stirred over it is going to drive viewership. You might be willing to push the envelope a little bit for that kind of it's harmless.
And the folks who are doing the producers and stuff, they're here for content. So they're going to push it as far as they can.
And they get it. Yeah. It's all, everybody's in on it. And the Capitol Police, they're in on it. Everybody's in on it. Guess who wasn't in on it?
TC?
Yeah, Tucker.
Oh, look at him. There it is.
Tuckums was very upset and seized on this opportunity and said that Stephen Colbert had committed insurrection.
It's out of control. It's just out of control.
All right. So aside from the ridiculously of Tucker and his most punchable face, way to go to Brian and the graphics department for finding an even more punchable face.
Yeah, he's leading with the chin.
Is
right. He saw that. That's exactly what that picture is.
Here's the quote. "Late night producers from Stephen Colbert's show on CBS committed insurrection at the United States Capitol."
Come on.
Point of fact, they were not in the U.S. Capitol. They were in the Cannon office building, which is an office building.
Yeah, it's an office building.
It's not the Capitol. And I think that was in the Capitol Police report, even about it. What they're doing is they're drawing a false equivalency, of course, and Fox News is in a lot of trouble, which we're going to find out later in the show tonight. But committed insurrection.
I think it's just
it's a rubber dog.
I mean, but again, they're very calculated over at that network, and they use specific language and specific words, and to say insurrection, and again, it's right.
They're trying to diminish the actual insurrection,
and we have the hearings going on again
by comparing an event that killed 6 people to a guy with a rubber dog. You know, they're very similar. One should be very worried about rubber dogs, not so much the mob of thousands of people trying to kill everybody and hang the vice president. That's nothing.
No. We need a hearing on this dog.
We need a hearing.
We shouldn't say this because probably tonight they're calling for hearings.
I will tune in.
You know what?
To watch Triumph the Insult Comic Dog have to answer questions from Jim fucking Jordan.
We are laughing now.
That is pay-per-view television.
We're laughing now, but they're going to take control of Congress. And this is going to be one of these hearings, straw man hearings that they have, and they're going to be calling.
Remember when Colbert came and got called as witness?
Yeah,
and then nearly got like a contempt of Congress charge for that. Yes.
So
Robert Smigel and the rest of the Triumph team.
Next year we're gonna be talking about this.
Yeah, remember, come on our show first. Tune it up. Yeah. We'll practice with you.
Yeah.
do our Jim Jordan impression. I went to Ohio and I'm an idiot. That's my Jim Jordan impression.
That's just low.
Side note. We're
gonna take morning.
Little detour. Little detour. Fuck Ohio 6 ways from Sunday. Here's why. This week, they attempted and successfully trademarked the word the. But not the, it's the way they call it, right? Mm-hmm. So they want to put it on their shirts, and they're the only ones that can be the whatever. The U has filed a serious injunction with various weapons at Ohio. Ohio, get the fuck over yourselves. Seriously?
No, we are a Simple Simon society. That is it. Triple S.
That's it. I mean,
Simple Simon society.
Fuck Ohio. Go blue.
Christ.
The good folks up in Ann Arbor,
by the way. Mean Ukraine?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not talking about that.
No, stop that.
We're not talking about that.
Don't
anymore.
Put the graphic.
Hey, hold on. It's always close.
He's got it rigged up. It's one button away all the time.
I'm always looking for it. I'm always looking for an opportunity to throw up the graphic.
The good folks in Ann Arbor posted on Twitter the word of, and then just the Maze M. So because we're the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, so like we're going to do dumb linguistic shit. Like we can do dumb linguistic shit too. All right.
I know some dumb linguistics.
We're past the detour. Back away from Des Bridges. Whatever. Leave him alone.
Okay.
Des's Bridge doesn't need your help.
All right. It's so good. It's just such.
I hate that.
You didn't believe it when I told you.
No, I didn't believe it.
He did not believe it.
Very embarrassing. All right. Back to Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
Tucker needs some money. Why does Tucker need some money?
I think his Dominion is suing him, right?
A Delaware judge on Tuesday said that Fox News' parent company must face a defamation lawsuit from Dominion Voting Systems. How much is Dominion asking for?
Billions, 1.6.
1.6 billion with a B dollars from the good folks over at Fox News. News and quote Fox.
That's news.
Yeah. That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And even for them.
It is, yeah. Well.
You know, how many My Pillows is that worth? That's a lot.
The ads. How many ads? It's the only ad that plays.
That's the only ad they've got left. That and the gold, and the catheters or whatever.
Oh my God. So it's just a demographic.
Focusing on. Here's the deal. Dominion filed this lawsuit against Fox for basically running these stories that they knew to be false about their voting machines and all of that stuff, and Hugo Chavez and God knows what, right? And they go into court and they go, this is defamation of the highest. And the court goes, yeah, that's definitely defamation of the highest.
As we understand
we're going to go ahead and let this lawsuit proceed. Well, Fox tried to say, look, you can't get all of Fox for this. It was just 3/4 of our broadcast that was talking about this. Why don't you let the other stuff off the hook? And the judge looked at it and parsed it out and he goes, all right, Fox.com, which is like The Simpsons, that's off the hook. Everybody else, you're all going to pay $1.6 billion. And that's not the only entity facing this, by the way. Mike Lindell is facing this 1.6, another 1.6. and the Sidney Powell's Kraken group or whatever is facing another, like, and these people are dead to right guilty. Like, admittedly, dead to right guilty. They're proud of it.
Yeah, and I mean, all the things that they argue in here, right? They say that Murdoch allegedly made a business calculation to spread former President Trump's narrative through Fox News, even though he did not personally believe it.
Like, and he knew it to be false.
And he knew it to be false. So that's right. For intent purposes, right? There you go.
Now, Newsmax and OAN got cowed by this and basically printed retractions. They're like, hey,
right.
We don't have any billions. Matter of fact, we barely have hundreds of dollars. So, like, we're off. We're sorry. And also, AT&T, that's your fault. You made
that. That is AT&T's fault for that. Yeah, and you just get into like deeper like antitrust stuff, or you allow all these companies to start merging and buying each other up. But
trust busters,
right? Yeah.
Who are you gonna call?
Klobuchar.
There you go.
Breaking news. Okay,
breaking news.
Oops, there we go. Breaking news. Actually, Rupert Murdoch is suffering maybe losing some more money than normal. Yes. Recently found out he's getting a divorce from Jerry Hall.
Yes.
And surprisingly, if everyone remembers Jerry Hall, she used to be connected with Mick Jagger for so many years. So I didn't know
an MO.
Yeah, so I did not know they were even dating, but they were together for 6 years. So
there's some theory that this divorce is happening because he's about to go down to this like billions of dollars lawsuit.
So double whammy. Oh, also Larry is back. He's asking, "What are you guys drinking?"
Hopslam, baby.
This is original co-host of the show, Larry King without suspenders, wants to know what we're drinking.
Name.
The answer is Hopslam, which comes from Michigan.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and that
from the good folks.
That was breaking news.
Yeah, good friends at Bell's.
Not
Ohio.
Although I do like the Great Lakes Brewing.
Yeah,
they're a Cleveland outfit though, so they're all right.
Oh, come on, man.
No, it's fine. Not anywhere near
hypocrite.
Columbus. No, it's fine. Like there's parts of Ohio that are like redeemable, like Toledo, which is really a part of Michigan, but they won it in that stupid war that got us the UP. That's fine. All right, Dateline, Japan. We're doing real news. News. Now, you have chastised me a number of times for my lunch choices.
Yeah, you love Burger King.
But I do love the Burger King.
You do, yeah.
Specifically the Whopper.
Yeah, the Whopper. There it is.
When my family stepped off the boat, the people at Ellis said, "Welcome to America, home of the Whopper."
No, they did.
Yes, they did. It was not Burger King.
Divulging
in
into
1890.
Exactly. What? Was the burger even here yet?
Yes.
No, I didn't even
But it wasn't a king yet. We were still practicing democracy.
Funny.
It hadn't overthrown.
Okay.
Established. All right. So Burger King is a venerable company. I don't know if you know about them. They're sort of small outfit here in the States. Yeah. But over the rest of the world, they are the king.
Lots of Burger Kings in the United States have closed, but it does seem to be everywhere else in the world they're flourishing.
Home of the Whopper. So
not really, but you know.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan because you can have it your way at Burger King.
What do you get? You customize? Do you always
get heavy pickle, heavy tomato every time?
Do you just get the sandwich?
Gotta have with cheese. No, combo, of course.
So what comes in the combo?
Fries and I like what you did there. Not in Japan. Not getting fries. You're getting something else. What are we getting, Tez?
I think it's nothing. It's just without fries, right?
No, you're getting ramen noodles.
Hold on. What?
Yes. So
hold on. I missed that in the story. I knew we were getting fries.
The global pandemic / war in Ukraine.
I was gonna say. I know potatoes and grain in general is just out.
Potatoes are in short supply.
Yeah.
So in Japan, they're having trouble getting potatoes to make the fries. So what do they substitute in? Ramen noodles. Okay.
You put it in the Coke?
To that. Yeah. No, they're dry ramen. Who doesn't like dry ramen? You don't eat dry ramen, you eat dry ramen, and we all eat. It's crunchy, it's delicious.
No, I can't. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I will go with that.
The good folks in Japan, they're fans. However, here's a problem. Most of the ramen in the world is made from Ukrainian wheat.
I was going to say, right? I was going to ask, right?
Specifically, Indonesia and Nigeria are big consumers of instant noodles, and they are both in very, very big trouble because their number one brands are all sourced, the grain sourced from Ukraine.
No, I mean we're
So temporary stop.
The climate refugees are gonna converge with the food refugees,
And I'm contributing because every time I eat a Whopper, I'm making the climate worse.
There you go.
Hey,
who
I'm
knows?
helping.
We might be refugees soon too. Who knows?
Yeah, again, as we've talked about, I am confident that the various rich people who live near us will mostly insulate our region from this
Right,
stuff.
you're just gonna get caught in their coat as
We're going to be safely ensconced within the Beltway
okay.
and seawall
Good luck.
eventually.
Well, good luck.
Who needs the Eastern Shore?
Oh my God! Come on.
It's like a whole part of Maryland nobody
Sorry
cares
to all
about.
our listeners in St. Michael's and
Right.
thus further.
Joe
past.
Biden's back from Delaware, so it's fine. My parents are in Rehoboth.
I mean, we don't got to worry. We got to worry about him on a bike.
Yeah, I know. No,
We just got to.
you don't have to worry about Trump on a bike, though.
Yeah.
He's never going to get on.
He's never gonna go.
No, Joey B's beach house is right near my parents' little apartment. They were hanging out with me over the weekend.
More breaking news.
Yeah, more breaking news. Donald Trump said he will never ride a bike, so he won't fall
We
down.
saw that. It was the least surprising thing he's ever said, including that time that he said he loves lamp. No, that was a bad joke.
That's
All
a
right.
bad. Come on. What's going on?
That was layers. There's layers.
It's a
All
lot
right.
of layers.
Here's what we're going to do. Is our guest in the bullpen?
Okay, look at that.
Look at that time.
We are moving like it's insane.
It's real radio.
It's real.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Cleve Oines, the inventor of the pepper cannon and the supposed salt cannon,
Don't do that.
which we're going to ask him
Supposed.
about. It's going to be fantastic.
This isn't.
You don't want to
Right,
miss
come
it.
on, man. What are you-
And Dan Formosa, I hope you're tuning in because as the previously best known designer on Chip Chat, we want to know your thoughts on this. We're looking for your tweets. Come back after the break. You're listening to Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Sweeps.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I am your host, Chip. This is Tez.
What's popping here?
All right, so now we're going to talk to somebody who's way smarter than us.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty much what we do on the show.
Bring on.
It's kind
folks.
of the MO.
Yeah, that's what we do.
All right, so Cleve Oines, he brought us a series of inventions that have changed the world. There was a spatula.
Yes.
There was it's the best spatula for cast iron, bar none. There's a kitchen knife, but nothing as impactful as this here pepper cannon.
There it is. If you're watching at home,
it grinds pepper so much faster, so much finer, and with such precision. His most recent contract
Look how it's falling with grace.
Was with NASA to build a new moon rock grinder. You know, because they want to snort the moon dust. After years of trying and researching, there is now finally a salt cannon to complement the pepper cannon, which my wife pre-ordered for me for Father's Day, but it hasn't arrived yet.
If you're playing the drinking game at home, we drink when he says that it was pre-ordered for Father's Day, and it hasn't arrived.
And Cleve joins us. Cleve, welcome back to Chip Chat.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Okay, so where's my salt? No, I'm kidding. So, he's got it.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
So your company, Man Kitchen, has already revolutionized pepper. Why go after salt? Wasn't it already fine enough?
I like that. Yeah, it was. And frankly, I resisted making a salt mill for quite a while, just because I know working with salt is kind of a bear. It's very corrosive, and salt and metal over time plus moisture is typically not a good mix.
No.
So I resisted the idea. On the Kickstarter, a bunch of people asked about it, and I said, we're not interested in making it. These are the reasons. And I said, okay, but if enough of you sign up and agree to pre-order it, then we'll go ahead and get started. And I thought that there would be not enough people interested in it for us to actually make it. But that list grew beyond what we expected it would within the first week or so. So it became apparent that if I was going to keep my promise, we'd have to start working on it. So we did. And what I thought would be a couple month process, just swapping out the metal burrs for ceramic burrs and making it a little less expensive, turned out not to be the case. We tested. Yeah, it did take a matter of months, but it was 18 months instead of 2 or 3 months. So now we're finally here. We finally have a production prototype. Initially, I thought it was going to be a lot less expensive, or a bit less expensive than the pepper cannon to produce, because ceramic burrs are less expensive than the high carbon stainless burrs we use in the pepper cannon. But turns out it's going to be significantly more expensive to produce, because we have to swap out a bunch of the steel parts for titanium, and titanium is significantly more than stainless steel. So while there is a smaller market for the salt cannon than there is for the pepper cannon, it's going to be more expensive to produce. So right now, it's a little bit less than the pepper cannon at the pre-order price. Once it comes in, it's going to be priced at the same, even though it costs more to produce.
So I got technical questions here, as a user, and I got to say, I cannot say how excited I am every time I have a reason to use my pepper cannon. It's dynamite. I mean, it's so good. I worry about the bearings, right? Isn't that the thing that corrosive salt, it's going to get into that bearing? So how are you mitigating against that?
Ceramic bearings. So yeah, the burrs are ceramic. It's aluminum oxide, so super hard, super durable. And also the bearings. So bearings are about 3 to 4 times more expensive than the stainless bearings. So all that adds up. The main cost difference is for those bearings and for the titanium parts over the steel parts.
Makes sense. And now, is the weight and the feel of it going to be sort of?
It's going to be lighter. It's going to be lighter, thankfully, just because a lot of that steel weight will be gone. I mean, it's still going to be the second heaviest grinder you can find, because the body is still all metal. It's very, very solidly constructed, but yeah, it'll be a very similar feel. You can grind pepper in it if you want. So people doing like custom rubs that they're grinding other stuff in there with it. You don't want to do that with the pepper cannon if it has salt, but you can do it in the salt cannon. Now it's optimized. The burr geometry is optimized differently for grinding salt than pepper. So if you are grinding pepper in it, it'll be about 30% slower than the pepper cannon is, which probably makes it the second fastest pepper grinder out there.
It's still going to be miles faster than anything else anybody's got.
Yeah,
right.
It's still very fast.
The next question is, and this is going to get very inside food, which fits our audience, I suppose. What am I putting? So like, I know what goes in my pepper cannon. It's peppercorns, right? Which by nature's design are all sort of uniformly sized and shaped and sort of roughly the same. But salt comes in so many varieties. Like I have a grinder right now where I had a salt block that I grilled on, right? Grill on a salt block. It's fantastic. And I had this salt left over from it that was in chunks when it eventually cracked apart, that was smoky and kind of, meaty and burgery and whatever. So I kind of bashed that up a little bit and I put it in a grinder, and it sort of works okay. What am I putting in my salt cannon when I get it?
So it'll grind pretty much anything that's small enough to gravity feed. So that you're probably talking about like a Himalayan rock salt brick that you cooked on.
Yep.
Yeah, you can grind that stuff as long as it's small enough to gravity feed. So that's probably, the interior dimensions are the same as the pepper cannon. So probably 5 to 7 millimeters in diameter. As long as you get it that small, it'll grind just fine. And it'll grind any salt. Now, when you get into sea salts and stuff, it grinds that too, but there you're paying a premium for the larger crystal size. So
right. Yeah. So you don't really want to do that.
You don't, I mean, you can, but that's better to leave in a bowl on the side and sprinkle it by hand. That's what I do. But again, any kind of salt that you want to put in there, you can put in there.
I'm gonna bash up my blocks and put them in there. That's what I'm
There you go.
Do it. Smoked salt, yummy.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude. I gotta tell you, it's like the luckiest byproduct I've ever had. Also, I use chunks of it to polish my cast iron.
Yeah.
Because salt is great for polishing cast iron, and having a chunk of it is better than having to
rub it.
Yeah. All right. So when you're designing these things, how much testing do you have to do before you're willing to put it out there? And does the FDA have to sign off on it?
Always way more than I expect. So FDA stuff, we just have to make sure that we're using things that are, approved material for food. So that's not a huge hurdle. But so the coatings, anodizing is great. It's food safe. So the body is anodized, just like the pepper cannon, hard anodized. Ceramic doesn't require any coating, food safe. Titanium, of course, non-reactive and food safe. So, it's a hurdle, but again, I thought this was going to take 3 months and it took 18. And then I launched the salt cannon thinking that we had a finalized production prototype. And it was another salt test came out that showed, okay, yeah, the steel that we were going to use for certain parts will actually not last as long as we want it to last. So it's an ongoing process, and I'm learning as I go too. So I make a lot of mistakes.
So that's why I don't have mine yet.
Oh, God.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's a published ETA that's very general. It says fall of 2022. So we're well on schedule.
That's how that's how Apple did their release product releases there.
Yeah.
It's fall, and fall can go up until like November, November 24th, like around. Technically into December, really, yeah.
Yes.
So I like that. Any production challenges during the pandemic?
Constant, yeah, constant. I don't know if you guys remember when that big container ship was turned sideways in the canal in North Africa. We didn't have product on that ship, but we had product on ships behind that ship. So,
oh man, even worse.
Yeah, transport, production, getting materials. There's really nothing that's gone down in price, except for Bitcoin maybe, and all the stocks we all own.
That's why he's on the show.
So all the material stuff has gone up. Material costs have gone up. Labor costs have gone up. Transport costs went way up over the holidays, are starting to come back down as they typically do this time of year. But yeah, it's a challenge to navigate. Thus the distant and vague ETA that you're loving.
And that's what I was trying to explain to Chip. I was like,
look, I get it. I was patient. This thing was like, 6 or 7 months past due or whatever. Like
we're still focusing on how long
it's fine for me. We're focusing on me. Let's focus.
This is the whole show.
I understand.
Namesake.
I'm fine with it, right? Like I was willing to wait. I had been using inferior pepper grinders for my entire life.
I was going to say
up to that point, and had survived, like by the skin of my teeth, though. right? Like barely.
Hanging in there.
Now I couldn't possibly go back.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
know.
It's one of those things where, like, you know, once you've met electricity, you can't go back.
Yeah.
The pepper cannon is as revolutionary as the electric motor.
All right. Yeah. That is the clip right there.
You can use that on your next Kickstarter.
That is it.
All right. You want to? Like, can we do design stuff, or you got something else that's sort of more important?
Is there a kitchen gadget that can save democracy?
Oh, great question.
Oh man.
That's
going to be tough.
Oh
Maybe
no.
Maybe if we all spent less time on social media and Facebook and more time in the kitchen, many of these problems would just disappear.
I'm with it.
Cook our way out of it.
There it is.
I'm
all here for that.
All right.
It's hard to be in conflict around a table full of good food.
Yes. Yeah.
It's 100% the thing,
That is
right?
it, yeah.
Break bread with your enemies.
Break bread with you know. Figure it out.
I do it all the time. I'm married to a Notre Dame
Stop
fan.
it.
Very difficult. Very difficult. She's a Rangers fan too.
I know it. Yeah, it's really difficult
a lot of
for you.
conflict. Fortunately, she's also a Jets fan, so there is
Well, there you go.
because
The misery bonds you.
Yeah. Our football teams are both so awful.
His football team, the Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that? All right.
You see?
Wow. I like it.
I can't talk anymore. My team's the Seahawks, and Russell Wilson's at the Broncos now, so it's going to be tough. If we get 5 wins this year, I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got Pete Carroll, so you know you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a spring chicken, right?
There's a quarterback out there somewhere.
I'm sure. The Legion of Oof. All right, so on our show a few weeks ago, we had Dan Formosa, who is a renowned designer in kitchen stuff, but you know, sort of in general. If you know the OXO Good Grip stuff that is very ubiquitous, a lot of people have that. He was very involved in that. He has this great series of videos on Epicurious where he tests kitchen gadgets and offers redesigns on them and stuff. It's really great stuff. I highly encourage everybody to watch it. If we can do it, which I think we can, because he's friend of the show, you're friend of the show. You've been on a couple of times now. Dan says he wants to come back anytime, really. I think it's because he's just got Thursday nights free. But if we could team you up to make some kind of a kitchen gadget, what would you make? And, can we get a Chip Chat branded?
Maybe. Well, I tell you what, the things I get the most complaints about that people are like, hey, you need to look at this are can openers that always fail, cheese slicers that always break, and tongs that are always wrong. So those are probably the next 3 things.
I got to say, I've got a Good Grips can opener that I've had for like a decade, and I love and have recommended to everybody. I'm sure Dan designed that.
To the can opener one, and just because like
it's a side cut. Mine's a side cut. I'm a side cut guy.
But
there's little pliers on the side too.
There's this one thing that has always troubled me, and like my family is Jamaican, and one of the dishes that a lot of Jamaicans enjoy is yes, but no, that comes in a can. But this one is canned corned beef, and sometimes you have it with cabbage, or you have it with rice, and it has that dumb key on the side that you have to kind of go around, and I never make it all the way around the can, and usually I end up slicing my hand open every time I try to open a can of corned beef. We have to figure that out. People are losing blood, and
literally,
yes.
It's an epidemic.
Oh, we've got to chime in.
There's 2 people. One says hello.
Oh, of course.
Hello.
Guess who else?
Who is joining? Dan needs a pepper cannon.
Dan needs a pepper cannon. Hey, look at that.
All right. So, Cleve, you and I will work off air to do this. So we got to get one of these pepper cannons to renowned designer Dan Formosa.
We'll take care of Dan.
This could break Chip Chat.
Look at us
from being a 2-bit radio show.
It's that
to being where people come for their kitchen inspiration.
It'll be a 3-bit radio station in no time.
Yeah.
Look, if we need to pivot and just stop all this news shit and talk about kitchen gadgets, I'm with it.
Wait a minute. Do you not listen to like Turkey Confidential every Thanksgiving on NPR?
Yeah, no,
of
course I do. Come on, man.
Right. So there's room for kitchen radio.
I'm here for
the
it.
delicious dish.
Oh. There you go.
No sweaty balls on our show.
Christ.
Okay. We will hook that up. That is
Yes.
100% going to happen sometime tomorrow. Look for an email. All right. But what kind of gadget should you guys build together?
Well, he's a legend. So, yeah, it'd be great to put heads together and chat on some of these problems. I don't anticipate there ever being an end to issues in the kitchen, even if it's just for, like I'm a bigger guy with bigger hands. So I run into issues with tools that are made for the average consumer. And now there's, everyone's so connected that you don't have to make something for the average. You can make something for the different, and your audience can find you. So yeah, no shortage of challenges there.
We are supporters of that idea.
Yes.
Okay. So I got to know, I mean, not to give too much away, right? Because now we're already pitching for our own gadget, which I don't even know what it should. I mean, it should be the best possible bottle opener in the world, maybe to be useful to our show.
There you go. DJing to ourselves again.
But no. There's plenty of bottle openers. We know you can.
Come on, man. You got the greatest of the minds coming
preeminent
together. And you're talking about,
designers in the
let's make
world.
bottle openers. Man, come on.
No.
Come on.
We will engage them in something more worthwhile, I'm sure. But what's next in the main kitchen pipeline, and how can people get it? And more importantly, how can they stay tuned for when something is coming?
Yeah. So at Man Kitchen for Instagram, that's where I'm not super active, but most active on any of the social media platforms. And then mankitchen.com. We've got a blog on there. We do news, upcoming stuff. So mankitchen.com, and then follow me on Instagram. That's the best way to stay in touch. And then of course, tune in to Chip Chat, because I'm on here all the time, right?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
on.
yeah.
I mean, basically every time you invent something new, you're on the show. So we got to do it. I don't have the knife. I got the spatula, which I didn't get the apron because my kids got me an apron that has flames on it. It makes me cook faster. So
It makes you cook faster.
Yeah, it's got flames. It
It's
makes
got-
you go
it got
faster.
you.
Yeah. So I didn't need a
Like a
new
red
apron,
car.
but it's how it works on cars. But I do need that knife because I'm somebody who likes a real front heavy knife that really leans off of my. Well, you got your thumb on it and it really leans off that index finger and just kind of puts right through. I did a pork shoulder last weekend. I have a very good, very heavy knife for doing the chopping, right? So I sliced and chopped it and then sauced it up. It's very, very delicious.
I can see just the way you just,
oh, yeah.
I saw you
Oh,
just
my God.
relive it right there.
I know. A little slaw. So good. But I need a good, front heavy knife. And I'm looking at that big broad blade on the main kitchen knife, I'm thinking oh, good scooping too. It's everything, right? So I mean, could you make I don't even know. You know what I need? I need a whisk that makes me better at emulsification.
Break that down for the listeners and myself included.
Well, all right. So an
Gotta be honest around
emulsion
here.
is when you trick things that don't bind into binding.
Oh,
So oil and water.
okay, all right.
All right. So the basic idea you could think of hollandaise or something. So if you have egg yolk binds to water on one side and to oil on the other side. So as long
And
as you're
the
whipping
whisk
it,
is it.
you
That's
gotta
what's
whip it.
Okay.
And as you're adding the oil and get it to build that emulsion, and then if you do it wrong, it'll break and then it all falls apart or whatever. I need a whisk that makes me better at that.
Cheat and get an immersion blender. That's what I do.
I've got one of those.
There we go.
No.
Work
No,
smarter.
sorry. Oh,
That's what we were just told.
he's the genius.
I was gonna say, just listen. That's all you need to do is listen.
That's why he's on this show. We only have
For,
smart people on our
for the listeners.
Yes. All right, Cleve. One more time, if anybody wants to follow or get in touch or anything like that, where can they find you?
Yeah, check us out on mankitchen.com. It's MANN Kitchen, or at Man Kitchen on Instagram.
Dynamite stuff. All right, we know it's a school night out there in the Pacific, whatever, blah blah blah, and we've got the rest of the show to do. We'll let you go. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back with the second half of the show.
I guess
First
so.
half of the show.
You know where we're going.
are.
You know where we're going next.
We're gonna find out. Cleve, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
I
Cleve.
can't thank you enough for my pepper cannon. It's my single favorite thing in my entire kitchen.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
smile
thanks,
on
man.
your
We
face.
really appreciate it. All right, we'll have you back as soon as I get my salt cannon.
Christ. Stop. leave it. Let it.
We'll see you later. We're gonna take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweeps. Listeners are going to enjoy our sensual interludes that we have between this madness that we go into.
I don't know what.
And in
Yeah,
between.
that seems fair.
And look.
All right, Tez. What part of the show have we come to?
The coup.
The coup. we need a graphic and a sound effect.
I
for
know,
that.
right?
Brian, who does nothing around here, should get on that.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, right. No,
ask for.
I know what I'm asking for. All right. So, as people know, maybe I don't know. I would assume
concerned face
listeners of this show are aware that there were two sets of hearings this week.
Yes, I missed the first one on Tuesday
Tuesday and then again today. They were both sort of like daytime hearings. One was at noon or 1 o'clock, and one was at 3 o'clock.
What was in the Tuesday one? Because I missed it. I haven't been.
Well, we're going to talk about the Tuesday one first.
Okay, gotcha.
What we were talking about now, let's just set the scene about these hearings. By the way,
yeah,
they're conducted by Congressman Benny Thompson and Liz Cheney of Wyoming. They're somehow in charge of this. And
soon to be replaced as
soon to be. Well,
it's no.
Benny's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Don't ever forget, by the way, just because he's leading this committee, that he's this like old guy from Mississippi.
Yeah, he's seen a lot.
He's
done
seen a lot, and he sounds like it.
Yeah.
When he says something has disturbed him or something is disturbing, he says it in a way that sounds like it came out of a blues song.
Yeah, no, it's I enjoy. I mean, again, and we'll get into this, I'm pretty sure, but the way that this committee was set up, and even from just where they sit and like what you see,
it's well produced.
It's well produced. I don't know what that's going to do, but I enjoy it. Even though I'm enjoying watching
his delivery.
Yeah.
It carries this gravitas.
Yes.
Of somebody who you know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows somebody who sounds like this guy.
Yeah.
So it sounds legit. This is your uncle,
It
grandfather,
feels very
whatever.
personable, like to the point where you're like, okay, no.
It sounds like the guy who hangs out at the barbershop while you're getting your haircut and he tells you about stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might not be in the news.
Might not. But this case it is.
All
right. So there was the convening of the Electoral College was supposed to happen on December 14th of 2020, right? And that's the end of the presidential race and all this kind of stuff.
But that a popular vote doesn't just so anyway.
Well,
sorry,
but when the day arrived, there was issues.
Yes.
Right? Because the way the Electoral College works is that each state has their electoral votes.
Yep.
And it's all this weird arcane nonsense that we found out it's all in the 12th Amendment, which apparently there's a lot of controversy over. One lawyer thinks it's pristine and the other one thinks it's inartful. But anyway, like the people who lost the election, i.e. the Trump supporters, thought that their path to victory revolved around basically cheating at this mechanism.
Right.
Including some folks in the great state of Michigan.
Yeah, your favorite place.
My favorite place. Who decided that what they were going to do was hide in the state house, in the state capitol in Lansing, which is dangerously close to East Lansing, where those green people are.
So you're not
the bad kind of Michigan.
Look at this again. It's just insane.
No, we got to be clear about
like
this.
He football's in 2 months. We expect.
I know, right? He's gearing up for it.
And basketball too. There's good Michigan. That's the blue part. And then there's those guys in East Lansing.
Yeah, what kind of blue? What blue? The blue like
it's blue. It's called blue.
It's just blue.
Maize and blue.
Maize and blue.
Then there's those jerks like J. Scott Smith in East Lansing. So that's fine, but whatever. That's very close to Lansing. Anyway, all right. So these Trumpistas decided what they were going to do was they were going to sneak into the Capitol there in Lansing and hide out overnight. So that
what's going on with the security up there?
There's no security in capitals apparently.
What is happening? Can I just go over and like where DC doesn't really count there, but
you can't.
I cannot. Can I just travel up to Annapolis?
I'll give you a hint of what color all of these electors were.
Probably went in with their guns.
Yes, those same guys. Their plan was that they were going to sneak into the Capitol there in Lansing, and so that on the morning of December 14th, they would be there first.
The real electors.
The real electors. They would sign their fake affidavits that they printed out from John Eastman.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Who, in fact, is the one who mailed all this?
A fax goes around on that day. And John Eastman
emailed this. Yes, Eastman emailed this stuff, and it came from the White House and all this. They were like, "We'll print this out. We'll all sign it, and thus it's legitimate." And then they were like, "Well, how are we going to get it to DC? Because nobody's going to take it as legitimate." And they're like, "Oh, I've got a workaround. Next door is Wisconsin. There's this crazy guy called Ron Johnson. We're going to hand it to him." Pin in that.
Okay.
Part 2 of the coup discussion tonight is going to heavily talk about that.
All
right. So it wasn't only in Michigan, though. It was in a number of states where basically the states had gone for Biden.
Yeah.
But they didn't want them to be these people who had lost. Much as I had never wanted Ohio to win all of those games against Michigan, low would it be that I could have the opportunity to simply change the score by being there at the moment that they were going to record it in the book?
Doesn't the NCAA do that all the time? Didn't they do that with Reggie Bush and USC?
They definitely did it to us in
they
2013.
right? I was
Right.
going to say, they do that.
In 2013, Louisville played Michigan in the finals. And then also in 2013, Louisville got all their wins vacated because they cheated.
Yeah.
So Louisville did not win the 2013 NCAA men's basketball championship. We were also there. By definition, we won.
I'm just setting them up to just go full on Michigan.
Hate. Lots of hate.
Yeah, but Nevada, right? Biden won that.
Happened in Nevada too.
Yeah.
Happened in Arizona. They tried it in Arizona. They tried it in Wisconsin. They tried it in a number of swing states. They tried it in Georgia. What we found out today, actually, which didn't make this printing,
it's not on this printing, yeah,
is that this fake elector bullshit was directly orchestrated out of the White House by the Trump campaign and from the Trump lawyers who were pushing not only the idea, but also the mechanism. Like, oh, all you got to do is fill out these papers. We'll send you PDFs. You just sign them. And it says that you selected this person to represent your state. Never mind the actual outcome of this thing.
of what the actual state's will that people
So
in a pandemic went out to,
this is
cast their
very,
ballot.
very much the 2013 championship thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I brought that up for a reason. I'm not just like crowing for, Michigan's sake, but like, okay, Michigan played Louisville in the 2013 championship. We didn't win.
You did not win.
Right? Louisville scored more points than Michigan did. That is a true fact.
Yeah.
Okay. But Louisville got their wins vacated by some reason or whatever. It does not mean that we won.
Right.
I have a
So
shirt that says we did, but that's
That's a whole different story.
okay. But we didn't win.
You didn't win.
The shirt, I can't show up at any place with this shirt and be like, yeah, we're the national champions of 2013.
And the reason that you can't do that is because with basketball, and we've talked about this before, with any sports, we have these set of rules that we all follow. You go and play a pickup game. You go play 33 or 21, wherever the hell you're from. You go. What?
Who plays 33?
33 is a DC thing. Yeah, 33.
I played 21.
21. I tell you, yeah, 21. No, 21. Look at Brian's.
Wait, 33?
And make sure you cut this clip. And when we put out 33, everybody will be like, oh, yes. Yeah, no, 33.
Wait, what part of DC plays 33?
I will put it out there that no one in DC plays 21. They play 33.
I mean, I've lived here my entire life. We've only ever
I
played
guarantee
21.
you we can go on any basketball court, play 33, not 21.
All right, when you're playing like, 3-on-3 or whatever, you play 16 or you play 11?
16 or 11.
We play 16. Yeah.
And it depends. You can do straight 16 or you can play
Straight
11, win by
11,
two.
11 by 2.
Yeah, 33. We're about to find out. Again, cut this clip.
33?
33. I can't believe this is coming
I
out
have
of the
never
Coup
heard
segment.
of this.
No one's heard of 33. Okay, no, we'll see.
We need a hearing.
We need a hearing. We need a public hearing.
Call
on
Jim
this.
Jordan.
Yeah, call it in. 33.
Pelosi. On it. She's from Baltimore. She can't.
But here it is. But even so, is even.
Right, the point is, we're talking about that there's
21 and
rules.
33, the rules, no matter what it is, we establish these rules and everybody knows what the rules are, and that's how we're able to play the game.
Right. We couldn't play otherwise.
There's no way to play. We would just be at an
I'll take my ball and go home.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So that's, I think, as you look at like what's happening here, again, certain folks don't want to play by the rules of democracy.
No, not at all. And in fact, this fake elector stuff, which is really kind of what we saw. All right. So the hearing earlier this week was about pressure on the vice president vis-a-vis these fake electors. Okay. We've talked about this. We do not want to give a lot of credit to Mike Pence.
I know, right? The same way, whether it's Cheney or any of these other,
No, don't give him any credit. However,
We do have one common value, it does seem.
which is that we want to play by these sets of rules.
Yeah.
So the pressure that was applied to Pence that nearly got him hung, which we found out about last week, we talked about that, was based on this fake elector scheme, which was cooked up by John Eastman and Donald Trump. There's these emails and phone conversations and all of these notes that show them going, well, what if we just make up a series of electors?
And the backup plan of, hey, just push it back to the states.
So that's what we found out on Thursday. That's today. We'll get to that. But I want to talk about this fake elector stuff because, like, you don't get to just insert your own outcome here in anything. I wish it was. I mean,
2000 would be different.
Yeah. You know how great the Al Gore presidency would have been, or how great all of those times that the Washington football team won the Super Bowl in the mid-90s. Like, I wish, but it doesn't work that way.
But and I don't, because this could take us off to a tangent. But I did see Kai Rizzo retweeted something from Keith Olbermann today.
Yes.
Where you saw? Did you see where Keith Olbermann was like, "Hey, around the Supreme Court stuff, just don't follow it." And are we getting into this the slippery slope where everybody's like, hey?
So this is literally the thing that we have talked about previously on the show so many times.
So many times.
Like when we have this system where if you do something that you're not to do, the court says you're not to do that.
Right. And
then you're supposed to go, all right, cool, take your L and go back and try something else. And what the Trump people figured out was they could just go, fuck off.
Get it.
Do whatever they want.
This is stuff on paper, your parchment paper, whatever. Let's get us out of here.
It is the standoff at Dulles.
Yeah.
This is the thing I keep going back to because it was the thing I personally experienced, but I'm sure there's other versions of this. What happens when the court says you got to pay your fine and you just go, nah. And they go, well, we're going to throw you in jail. And you go, fuck off. And they go, well, we'll send the police to get you. And you go, I'll tell the police not to get me. What do we do there?
I don't know.
The thing that we discussed last week that I think really gave me a lot of confidence.
Okay.
Is that you and I shared with Mike Pence this idea of the American experiment.
Yeah.
That the rule of law supersedes the rule of man and that we're bound by that. But the Trump people continue, and as we're learning through these hearings, have continued to bump up against that or override it as fast and as frequently as possible. So that's fake electors.
It's fake electors.
You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the second half of the hearings that happened this week and something scary that happened again in my neighborhood. Not to Ginny this time, but to neighbor Jeffrey. Had a run-in with the Fabi.
Oh,
yeah. It's a tough week. It's a tough week. My neighborhood is not good.
Your neighborhood is just...
I'm going to move.
Yeah, I think... Look, man.
Well, no, they're not coming near me.
Yeah, remember.
The barbecue's good. They can smell it.
Okay.
They don't want to come over there. All right. We're going to tell you about all this stuff that's going on in my hood, which is apparently much more dangerous than anywhere you've ever thought of.
It is.
You're listening to Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Sweet.
All right, so now we've come to the part of the show that's called the Coup / hearings part 2.
Coup part 2.
Yeah, we'll catch you up on a little bit of Thursday
Right.
stuff. All right, so we had another set of hearings today, conducted mostly by Adam Kinzinger.
Yes,
It's
Illinois.
Republican from Illinois, former service member. Killed lots of bad guys, all kinds of stuff. Right.
Person who fought for democracy.
Tough guy, right? Really means it. Not like that Greitens character. All right. He's one of my people, too. So I'm really ashamed of that. He can go with Snyder.
Where are they going?
I don't know. Back to Egypt. It's a whole other conversation.
Anyways.
All right. I'm just going to read this. Federal investigators descended on the home of Jeffrey Clark, a former Justice Department official, on Wednesday in connection with the department's sprawling inquiry into efforts to overturn the 2020 election, according to people familiar with the matter.
I heard he was outside in his PJs.
Yes, he was in his pajamas. It remained unclear exactly what the investigators may have been looking for, but Mr. Clark was central to the former guy's unsuccessful attempt in late 2020 to strong-arm the nation's top prosecutors into supporting his claims of election fraud. Now, that is just the background.
Right, just background.
What you need to know about today.
They did,
he was the central star of today.
And that it's kind of like they're setting this up really like, I don't know if this was already.
They wrote it.
Yeah, right. And they're right.
Script.
The script is really good because I was like, oh, wait, he got caught today and then he became the focus point of.
All right, so let's talk about first that he got
hearings.
caught. Means that the DOJ, Department of Justice.
And from what I heard, they snatched up his computers. They said they're
snatched
copying
all
up
his
files.
stuff.
Yeah, the digital stuff.
That means that they got a warrant.
Yeah, you have to get a warrant to do that. Yeah.
That means they've already, got something past the grand jury. They're doing charging.
Right.
They're doing, something's bad.
No one snatches up your. Yeah, the federal agents can't just come snatch up your computer.
FBI does not just come and snatch
that doesn't
things
happen.
without a warrant and all that kind of stuff. Unless you're black, but he's
yeah, we know exactly. I was gonna say,
So we know that this
Where's
is
my
legit
computer?
because look at his eyebrows. Brian, get the graphic. But all right, so. But this dovetails with the fact that Jeffrey Clark was sort of weirdly the star of today's hearings. Now, I myself am a fan of the roasts that you might see, the Friars Club or the Comedy Central roasts thereof. You've seen a few
or that
of these.
one time when Trump attended the
press correspondence dinner and Seth Meyers caused this problem.
It's foolishness.
That we will never forgive him for.
And the NFL for not letting him buy the Bills.
Yes.
Those two things.
Okay, so you've seen a roast.
Mm-hmm.
You understand the idea.
Yeah.
It's basically where everybody makes fun of one person.
Oh, God, this is funny.
Today was the House Select Committee
roast
on January 6th roast of Jeffrey Clark.
Yeah, me and Chloe were watching this and we were dying laughing.
Featuring some of the greatest comic minds in the history of the Department of Justice.
And also brought to you by the letter E.
Yes. Acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen, who also definitely tribe member.
Yeah.
Acting something Steve. Steve was a big part of this.
Steve was a big part.
And as we talked about the Double D,
Yeah.
Rich Donahue. Yeah. All three
of them.
And we got a cameo appearance with an F-bomb from Mr. Hirschman.
Yeah.
Also members.
Yeah.
They're lawyers.
Lawyers, come on, man.
What do you want? What do you want? Okay.
You said it.
I can say it.
There he is.
There he is. There's Rosen. He was basically calling Clark stupid. Like in front of all of the cameras.
But and again, deeper into that, he was like, this guy said he was going to come in and replace me.
Right.
Like he had, I'm not going to say he had an axe to grind with him, but
All right. So basically, here's what happens. Trump wants somebody to overturn the election.
And he's asking.
And he can't find.
Bill Barr says, I'm out of here.
Bill Barr goes, I'm gone. Jeff Rosen's in charge. And he goes, hey, Jeff, can you do me a favor? Can you get the DOJ to say that there's a problem so the states can go back and do some fake elector shit like what we talked about on Tuesday?
Right. And in that letter, right? The signed letter.
Well, we'll get to that.
Right.
And he goes, no, there's no evidence of this. We don't have any way to say this. It's just no way. And also,
and it seems like they looked into certain things as well.
They looked into literally everything that he asked for because that they are obligated to do so.
Right.
And he goes, by the way, we're the Department of Justice. We are not your personal lawyers.
He never understood
Stop
that.
treating us like that, you fucking imbecile.
Which I do blame a little bit on Bill Barr. Yeah, because not anyway.
And Sessions.
And Sessions, because I can't let them. It's not like we'll just be like, oh, well, these guys did the right thing. No, these folks have a different philosophy and like a different ideology on what the executive branch.
Bill Barr did not do the right thing.
No, he didn't.
He got jammed into doing the right thing.
Exactly. So it's not like, I'm not waving the flag for them, but, we're here.
So he goes to Rosie and says, are you going to do this or whatever for me? And he goes, no, there's nothing, no backup here or whatever. And Rosen's deputy is Rich Donahue. He goes by Rich, apparently. Yeah. He's not the Double D.
He's not the Double D.
He likes Rich.
Rich.
Okay. And he goes, are you going to do this for me? He goes, no, there's nothing here. We're not interested. We can't do this. That's not how the DOJ works, whatever. Somehow, Trump suggests this name. He goes, what about if we got Jeffrey Clark to be the acting AG in this period of time? All right. So you got Steve Inglis, I think his name is.
Yeah, I think, yep. Ingles,
and
like that.
Ingles or something like that.
Right around there.
Means English, whatever it is. Okay. Steve, the white guy, and Jeff Rosen and Rich Donahue.
Right.
And he goes, you guys are the top 3 guys at DOJ. I found out about this guy named Jeff Clark who has eyebrows that make him look like a villain in Captain Planet. Can he be the attorney general? And they go, whoa. How have you ever heard of this fucking guy?
Because Jeff Clark has been kind of positioning himself, right? He's been talking a little bit
but
about.
Also, like, he does environmental law.
Yeah, he's not. There's no credibility. Like, but the reason
we're not even to the credibility aspect.
Yeah,
we're like, how have you ever even encountered this name?
Yeah,
they ask. Pin in that. The pin's name is Scott Perry, Congressman of Central Pennsylvania. Big pin in that. Pardon the pin in that.
Good.
Foreshadow. Yeah. Okay. They go, no, sir, he's an idiot. We don't want to have anything to do with him. And Trump goes, just my kind of guy. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace you idiots with this idiot. because he's going to say the thing that I want him to say.
Yeah.
Come to find out, Jeff Clark has already written a memo.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
That says there were irregularities in the votes, and you states should, recall your electors and do some other shit or whatever. And Trump goes, you guys need to sign this. And they look at it and they go, fuck out of here.
What would they say? The suicide pact.
Pat Cipollone called it a murder-suicide
Murder-suicide pact.
He goes, this letter is a murder-suicide pact. There's not a chance in hell. And Trump goes, what do I got to lose? We talked about that last week. And
these are smart people. Again, like, they're not idiots.
Now,
some of them are idiots.
Donahue got pulled into this meeting after being out jogging, like, on the mall. So he's wearing...
His mud boots. He's
wearing boots, his army shirt, because he was in 82nd Airborne, by the way. He's not, like, some fucking joker. He's, like, real deal. And his, like, jogging pants or whatever. He's covered in mud. And Trump makes him sit front and central. They had this, like, CGI thing in the hearing, and they showed where everybody was sitting, and he goes, what do I have to lose? And Donahue goes, you have a great deal to lose.
Yeah,
if you do this, I'm gonna resign, Jeff's gonna resign, Steve's gonna resign. Not only that, but all of the U.S. attorneys are gonna resign. You're gonna put this guy, Jeff Clark, who's in the room, by the way. I want to be very clear about this. They are, when I say they're roasting this guy like a pistachio, like they are like, yo, this guy is a fucking dummy.
That great quote where it was like, when there's an oil spill, we'll call you.
When there's, that was, we talked about that last week. It got better. They go, you're going to put this guy in charge of an agency of 115,000 people. I guarantee you'll have 150 resignations within 24, 36, 72 hours. Not a one U.S. attorney will stick around. I'm not going to work for this guy. Nobody here is going to work. He goes, Steve, you going to work for this guy? Steve goes, fuck that guy. And this is smart, right? Donahue figures this out.
He figured it out.
And Trump goes, oh, all the cool kids don't like this kid. I don't want to be with the kid that nobody likes.
Because again, it's Trump.
It's all like schoolhouse shit, right?
And I think even as well, too, that look is just, for anybody, because that then becomes, that is going to be written in stone for legacy. If you have however many, 30 folks disappear from
115.
I guess 115, yeah.
All right, so like...
But I mean, the first wave is going to be like...
Trump is looking at a guy in a muddy T-shirt telling him to get the fuck lost.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, shit. I think I might have missed something here. So he goes, all right, what if I replace you, Jeff Rosen, with him, Jeff Clark? And they all go, we'll all resign. This is over. And Steve, remember Steve?
Yep.
Steve pipes up and he goes, the story is not going to be about how, so-and-so found whatever or so-and-so did whatever. The story is going to be that everybody resigned when you did this thing, including the people that you had appointed. And the story is going to be how completely botched this whole thing is, and it's going to damage your reputation. And Trump heard that, and he goes, all right, I'm not going to do it.
I don't
so
like
then he goes, all right, I'm not going to do this. And then he turns to the people that Clark reports to, which is Donahue and Rosen. He goes, what are you going to do with them? We go, we can't do anything with him, sir. He's a Senate confirmed assistant attorney general. They go, are you going to fire? Trump goes, are you going to fire him? We can't fire him, sir. Only you can fire him. And he goes, oh, well, I guess then everybody needs to go back to work.
Simple Simon society, man.
Like, so utterly fucking clueless. Why?
I didn't know these guys worked on Sundays.
They work whenever they get a call. But the real question is, why on God's green earth was the FBI raiding Jeffrey Clark's house? Because he took the fifth like
it was insane
or something like that in these hearings.
I mean,
And-
well, we know why we take the fifth.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. What's going on there? Why did the FB go to Jeffrey Clark's house? Has the FBI ever gone to your house, Tez?
No,
No.
not that I know of.
Do you have any reason
No.
to think that they would? I mean, like, would they be interested in anything that you're doing? Are you up to anything nefarious that could draw the attention of the Department of Justice, an agency that this guy was within hours of being tapped to lead?
Yeah. No,
No,
my statute. What is it? Statute of limitations is up. I'm good.
it seems pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not,
Yeah,
you're not
fine.
in any jeopardy.
I think, I guess in watching today's hearings, again, the production value of this is really high. I think for the history books, the way they're making the case, like it is what it is. Like Merrick Garland is where this is all going to come down to, right?
Well, and is apparently already involved. I mean,
Yeah.
this raid on
This
Clark
raid
does not happen without Garland doing it.
Right.
And,
So
and
it might be that we're getting, I don't know.
And it's worth pointing out that one of the Congress people involved in the committee is Zoe Lofgren,
Yeah.
who was on the Watergate
Right.
committee. She was a staffer on Watergate. So, like, she
Again,
knows from what she speaks.
I don't know if this sways, I guess, public
It is
opinion.
beginning to.
Do we?
We have some polling that is showing.
But we do see that some. I mean, I feel like from what I've seen, especially in primary season, that it almost seems like it's down the middle of like people who support the big lie and getting and then like some who did. Actually, it's more so around folks who voted for
There's a
impeachment.
square 35% or so that are going to be unmoved from this.
Yeah.
But the rest are definitely in play, is what the polling shows currently. Now, that could be wrong.
Right.
The other thing that we learned today features, I'm going to put it in air quotes, Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. It's another state I have very ambivalent feelings about. Russell Wilson's a Badger.
He is. I came from NC State and went there.
NC State, and then he went to,
Yeah.
right. So I'll never forgive him for that. I'd be fine if he was at NC State, like whatever. I don't even know what they are. Gamecocks? That's South Carolina.
I don't know what is NC State.
Wolves, Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. Yes, yeah.
Okay, whatever. But he's a Badger now, which means he's,
Well, if they let him play baseball, he would have stayed there.
yeah, but I don't
Baseball
like
player.
him because he's a Badger. That's all that matters to me.
He's a Bronco.
Well, now he is. Doesn't hurt me. Wrong oh no, I'm a Jets fan now.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I was gonna say.
it does matter to me.
Hurts
But-
Cleve.
Yeah.
He's the Seahawks. You know?
All right. So, well, no, that's NFC West.
But
It's
no,
fine.
but well,
It hurts it. Yeah.
It's just his team.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
This guy's sort of like the poster child for a mediocre white guy.
It's most.
I mean, is that about right?
Most of the representatives are not.
He's not great. He's not good at anything. He's not really like funny or.
I feel like that
cheeky
about
or
like owners
anything.
of sports teams too as well.
Yeah. Turns out he's in deep with the coup.
Of course.
Yeah. So what happened was the fake electors were like, how are we going to get our fake elector certificates to Mike Pence to like sneak into the box? And they go, oh, we got it figured out. We'll get them to Ron Johnson. And they're like, we're from Michigan. And they go, it's fine. It's next door. He'll do it. So these guys from Michigan and some guys from Wisconsin, both states that Biden won,
Yeah.
make up fake electoral slates and give them to Ron Johnson and say, hey, can you slip these to Mike Pence? And he goes, sure, no problem. And he tries to. And the Pence people go, these are fake. And he goes, I know, but just play ball. And they go, no, you idiot. We can't use these. This is ridiculous. And they toss them.
Wait, they're tossing out votes?
Oh, yes. They're tossing out valid votes, right? All right, so that should be the end of the story, but it's not the end of the story because we find out about this attempted pass off, and the reporters go, "Wait, Ronnie, what happened here, eh?" And he goes, "I'm on the phone." And he's walking, out of the cap, and they go, "We can see your phone. It's not on. Like, we know it's not. You're not on
The
the
lock
phone."
screen is showing up on your face.
They're like, "What? Why are you not talking to us?" And they chase him for a couple of blocks, and eventually he goes, "Look, somebody handed this to my staff, and then I handed these random envelopes full of whatever the fuck to the vice president of the United States without checking them or knowing where they came from. And y'all should be totally fine with that." Anthrax says, "What?"
Simple Simon Society.
Unbelievable, Ronnie.
Look, I mean, I'm trying to think of what.
I mean, you've got to have something.
What do I have to say to, again, folks who took a lot of time?
What you need to know is
traveled
that
their
people
state
from
to
Ohio,
run,
like Jim Jordan, and people from Wisconsin, like Ron Johnson, tried to unmake this country. And that the things that stayed in between them and the end of the republic were in Michigan. Michigan saved the United States from the danger of Ohio and Wisconsin.
You know how I would have got the electors into DC?
I'm all ears.
All ears? It's out of Hop Slam.
Hop Slam.
Or an official. Look at this. Bells.
There's a lot of
lots going on right here.
bells.
Bells. Oh my God, exactly.
The bell.
The bells. That bell sucks. Whatever that bell is there. See this bell? Good
right.
bell.
Great
bells.
The other thing that we learned today, which is
Endorsement.
absolutely
Send
critical,
some cans. Friends.
is we found out the congressional pardon list.
Come on. This is, again.
Now, we've talked about this. What do you need a pardon for, Tez? Adam Kinzinger asked this question.
Yeah, he did.
From the thing, like, I can't think of a reason you'd need a pardon except for
criminal activity you are pretty convinced you'll be convicted of.
Yes. On this,
federal criminal activity, I would assume.
Right, it's got to be federal, or the president wouldn't have any authority to pardon you.
You know?
I want to point out, number one.
So maybe the states need to go after these folks.
It's going to happen. None of the people on the list I'm about to read received a pardon. None of them. On this list, from the great state of Florida, Matt Gaetz. We all know what he needs a pardon for. I got 17 reasons why. Andy Biggs from the great state of Arizona. Louis Gohmert.
Oh.
Regrettably, from the great state of Texas, Marjorie. From the great state of Georgia. And Jim Jordan, of course.
Of course.
Noted assistant wrestling coach at the university. But number one on this list is an individual who publicly claimed within the last week that he was not somebody in search of a pardon. Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry.
Oh, yeah, I saw his text messages.
You saw his text messages. But prior to those text messages, you saw his tweets where he was like, I never asked for a pardon. Why would I ask for a pardon? I don't have any reason to be pardoned. And it turns out those texts are bad.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I mean, it does show that a lot of folks thought, number one, that Pence was going to make the move in their direction on January 6th.
They thought so.
Like
apparently,
they bet.
Apparently, they thought this was going to go to plan.
They bet the House. They pushed all the chips into the middle of the table. As I'm seeing this, because I'm like, again, you are dumb. You are dumb
asking
folks.
A pardon. You have already been so sure that you are dead to right going to jail
because you know the
you're
law.
going to be on paper.
Because you know the law and you broke the law.
To ask for a pardon means you got to be on paper, basically admitting to your crime. By asking for a pardon, you're admitting to a crime.
Yeah, And it just tells you, like, it also lets you know what type of operation folks knew that the former administration was running.
Sure.
It's just like, oh, well, no, I forgot specifically where it was in the hearings, but where they basically were like, well, no, I mean, like, Trump is a layman. Like, I forgot what the specific for what he was saying, but they were like, as a layman.
When the lawyers were explaining, like, why they had to explain to him that they couldn't fire Clark. They were like, even in layman's terms, we had to explain to him that this was a Senate confirmed appointment and that he, as the president, was the only one who could fire him. So here's the thing. Congressman Perry, who assured the public that he had no reason to be seeking a pardon, sources close to the show were with him when he saw the hearing. And he was, quote, apoplectic at the revelation that he had sought the pardon. Now, was he mad at the people who divulged this? Which sounds ridiculous. Obviously, he was the one that asked them for it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
You sent the message.
You're right. I mean, he's mad at himself. Can't help
Who
but
you got?
be.
AT&T, T-Mobile.
There's so many
who
ways.
gave it? Who gave it up? Where'd the warrant go to give up the
In
message?
this case, it wasn't no warrant. It wasn't no AT&T. It was the fact that he sent a message to somebody who was subpoenaed and whose information was captured. I mean, what
All
else
my
are we
friends,
supposed to do
please
with
never
this?
get subpoenaed.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Not on this show.
Not on this show.
We're guilty of a lot of things, but we need a pardon.
Yeah.
Barry, get your VP to help us.
Yeah, right.
That's how that works, isn't it?
Right.
It's not it.
No.
Okay, we are very near our.
You know
time
who's going to
limit.
give you a pardon soon?
Nobody.
No, Ron DeSantis when he wins the
Sure,
when he wins the presidency.
I can see Ron DeSantis hiring us as his press bureau.
Yeah,
He'll give us some cockamamie nonsense to
you
like.
just got to spew it.
Yeah,
You spew it. Doesn't
we're
care.
ridiculous.
We're
enough.
ridiculous enough. Yeah, exactly.
We are the diamond and silk of the left wing.
Stop using that bell.
This bell sucks.
That bell is insane. Ring for a drink. You can't hear it.
It's terrible.
Diamond and Silk, huh?
I guess.
I
I
guess
don't know. I
so.
couldn't think of like another duo.
I don't know. There's not really a black and Jewish duo on the.
Well, it's called MSNBC. You know,
it's fair.
Ari has anybody else on, but yeah, I mean, he loves quoting hip hop lyrics.
does like
I mean, he's
quoting hip-hop
basically
lyrics.
stealing our show. Ari Melber stole our show.
That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
We'll run with it.
All right, you want to do a break or do you want to do some like
A break.
Like, all right,
Come
no,
on,
fuck
friend.
that,
A
not.
break.
All right,
We were on
let's
time,
do
and
some
now
fast
you're-
stuff. All right,
Well, time is not on our side, right?
we got a gun deal. We'll skip that one. We got a gun deal.
Yes.
The Senate voted on effectively nothing.
Yes, at the same time, the unelected 9 people in the Supreme Court, well,
Gutted
6 out of 3 of them
any
just said,
gun laws.
They said, hey, Maryland, which I felt really good gun law, and
Massachusetts,
New York, yeah,
Nope.
you know,
It's done. So the
fuck regulation.
the Senate has decided that they're going to pass a law asking states to do things and offering them money if they choose to. But, you know, if they don't, that's fine too. They did close the boyfriend loophole in terms of federal background checks in states that care to adhere to those. And they also expanded the background checks for people between the ages of 21 and 18 in states that choose to do those.
Do any of these laws come back to the Supreme Court?
Probably.
And they're gonna lose.
Probably. I mean, we learned today.
Damn you, Heller.
It's not just, but
Yeah,
this
but
isn't
Heller
really
should
Heller.
start. But it starts there with Heller,
does
right?
start with
Because
Heller.
you changed the whole thing inside. You changed the Second Amendment that, hey, me and you, it's not fuck the militia piece, right? It just whatever. it's ingrained as a right for us to be able.
I think honestly,
in the home, it starts in the home.
It started in the home, but now it's everywhere. So
now it is everywhere.
The solution to this is black gun ownership.
Oh, we know it will. Oh my, you know what? And again, I'm all for it. But yeah, we just need to show up outside the state houses again.
Just walk around carrying them.
Yeah.
Okay. Former co-host of the show, Culture, is a noted advocate of black gun ownership, and for reasons. And Derek Summers, who was on our show, also noted advocate.
Me as well. I am an advocate for it. Yes.
There is this point that we may have come to where we have abdicated rule of law and we're just in like Jesse James territory, and it's just going to be that, right? And I feel safer. This idea that massive gun ownership makes a more polite society, which clearly the mass shootings between January and now,
no, it doesn't.
In Chattanooga alone,
no,
advocates no, it's not the case. However,
right, exactly.
If this is the situation,
should we just be caught without? Because again, at this point,
you don't want to be caught now.
You want to be caught? What we go back with?
Talk your way out of it,
right? Well, some of my friends, I got stories.
I mean, we're pretty good at it.
I got stories.
You and I are great at it.
Yeah, but not everyone's great at it. Again, at this point here, what I would suggest: learn how to use one, learn how to use a firearm, be proficient at it. Because again, the highest court in the land has said at this point, you have a right to conceal it and to carry it for self-defense wherever you go. And
Ahmaud Arbery would be very interested to find out about this.
Philando Castile
would be very interested to find out about this. And he was legal within 6 ways a Sunday of his rights.
The NRA never came out and said anything.
They didn't protect him.
I
wonder why.
But again, like, that's the only advice I can give. And I mean, again, I know my progressive friends will be like, well, what? No. Like, and I think at this point where you really have to hit folks, you got to go at the private sector. You got to go at the manufacturers at this point and throw everything you can.
Well, so of course,
throw everything you can.
Of course, the manufacturers are happy about this.
Of course,
if
9% Smith & Wesson went up today.
Yeah, if the solution to safety is to own a gun, then
9%.
Of course they're going to just make more. But like, hey man, there's only 415 million guns in this country of 350 million people. If we can get that number to 700 million by the end of this year, that's a great success for Smith & Wesson and Sig Sauer and all those guys.
Yeah, again, 9% jump, I believe, is what I heard on Marketplace today.
Hey.
So,
Kai Rizal, come on our show, by the way.
Yeah, no, that would be
big fans.
Big fan.
Yeah.
And again, Clarence Thomas writes he writes.
Let's not say right.
No. But
Scalito wrote it. He just signed it.
Scalito.
That's the deal. All right. This month marks the day that the second it gets altered a little bit by the nerds that keep track of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to know how this works or what it does. It doesn't really matter to you in your real life. But for a brief moment, your year got a little longer. You don't know how much longer? It's too complicated to explain.
Wait till next week. Wait till next week's breaking decisions that come out. Well, the year is going to get long.
Well, we'll row that boat when we get to it. Something.
That's good.
Okay. MTG is mad that people have free speech. We'll just leave it at that.
She likes infrastructure, though, right?
No, that's Bobert.
That's Bobert. No, sorry, I'm confusing.
Lauren Bobert is very excited about this infrastructure spending.
She's got a bridge
to hope. It's supposed to help this weird part of Colorado that she's vaguely aware of. I'm not even sure it's in her district.
Isn't a lake down to what was it? Lake Mead might be.
That's in Nevada.
No, well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes, isn't it on the same river though?
Colorado River.
Colorado River.
It is the same river. She said, I'm, quote, for investing in rural Colorado, but Biden's so-called infrastructure bill was not the right way to do it. Less than 10% of the infrastructure bill went to roads and bridges. She said that. And then it turns out that she asked for $33 million to build a bridge out of that bill in her district.
The one she didn't vote for.
The one that she voted against. She voted against it, not just didn't vote for.
Voted against it. Exactly right.
Yes.
Abstained. Just said, no, I'm not against
she
it.
said, quote, with rural surface transportation grant funds, Glenwood Springs will construct a new bridge connection that will provide a critical second emergency route access between State Highway 82 and the western side of Roaring Fork River in the city's south corridor.
An emergency? What? Well, I guess it could be worried.
Having the bridge makes it faster for the ambulances to get there. She was very proud of this. This bill that she voted against. This is par for the course, by the way. Of course, they vote against all kinds of things.
Simple Simon society.
And then they take credit for when they happen. I think we might be out of stuff.
No, we're not.
We're late.
Well, we are late.
Way over.
We
got to talk about your win.
All right. Well, yes. As some might know, or you might not. We've
been pretty.
Because again, we've
iffy about it.
We've been iffy on the show. We haven't talked much about it, but
you might, if you're like a legitimate person, you might not want to be connected to the show. It's fair to
exactly. Say. If you ever ask, like, well, why didn't you?
Very incendiary.
Because even folks on the campaign were like, "Yo, you're on a radio show." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not talking that like 2 weeks ago. Don't worry about that.
That's just a joke. It's fine."
All right, people at work figured
Nobody
it out.
listens.
People at work figured it out too. I was like, "Yeah, listen if you want, but if you don't want to, that's fine as well." Shout out to my brother Zachary Parker, who won the Democratic primary for Ward 5 council member.
Can we get him on the show?
We should be able to get him on the show. I'll ask him to jump on the show.
I'd be honored to ask him about what it's like to be gay now that Vincent Orange outed him.
No, well, he did.
That's the funniest.
Vincent Orange didn't do that.
By far the funniest story.
There was a statement prior to that, and
that is by far the funniest story of
it. Is one
except for one thing.
Yes.
Let's say you were running for office in the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
You might be tagged as a carpetbagger, I think is the word that I like to use for that.
You do.
If you did what, Tez?
Never had mumbo sauce?
Oh. Yeah,
sorry.
No, I think most of like the inside the Beltway part of Maryland's Virginia. I certainly have it in Arlington. What else might get you tagged as not a DC person?
Oh, well, not being born in the city?
Yeah.
Hold
might
on.
Also, if you have to drive the point home, that you might have been tagged for doing this outside of DC, with your car on your way to the polling station.
Oh, you might pull up to the polling station with Maryland tags, even though you're running for a DC in a DC election for a seat on the DC council.
Dynamite stuff
that you sat on before.
That you sat on and had to resign.
I didn't say anything. Look,
set your ass down.
We ran a strong campaign. Shout out to everybody on that campaign. I haven't worked with a group of folks that dedicated to one mission. So there's so many people to name on that one. But no, we ran a strong campaign. It was a people powered campaign. And we did that shit, man.
You won, man.
We won that shit, yo.
Get a little credit.
We won that shit, man. It was hard work, yo. It's hard work.
Ring your bell. God damn it. There you go. Progressive candidate won.
Progressive candidate won, man.
Let's revel in that
look.
For Ward 5 seconds.
For Ward 5 seconds. I like that.
Yeah. All right, you hear the music. That means we've come to the end of the show. We're way overdue anyway. We're short by our standards, though. We were
close to being on time.
Thanks to Cleve for joining us.
Yes, shout out to Cleve.
Making the pepper cannon and the salt cannon and all this
and what's to come
stuff.
between him and
the amazing collaboration between
him and
Cleve and Dan.
Yeah.
We are uniting designers here on the radio. It's going to be amazing.
We're gonna get Johnny Ive on next.
Yeah, we want to say thanks to our radio partners, Liz Cheney, Benny Thompson, neighbor Jenny, and her garage radio tower, which I'm not making up.
Oh my! So hold on. Don't tell me they got like communist radio coming out of the backyard.
Oh no! All the amateur radio in the United States is like vile right-wing nonsense.
People talk about like the most disinformation happening on social media. It's not. It's on radio.
No, it's on ham radio.
You guys listening to it right now?
No, my back neighbor is number one.
Christ.
Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week. We assume we have
twice a week.
Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com, and thanks as always to our family here at Rip Radio for making us sound as smooth as John Cornyn at the Texas GOP.
Smooth with a lot of booze.
All right, where can everybody get you on the social medias there, Chad?
I think you can probably still find me on Twitter at DC Cortez. And now that campaign season's over, I'll go back to my normal scheduled program. And you can find me on Instagram at Ketchum Cordy. Actually, it's not over. We got a general election to win. Yeah, so you probably won't find that.
General election.
Yeah, you know, even though since the start of home rule, it's since the start of home rule, no one's ever beat whoever the Democratic.
Gentrification may matter.
No, someone told me a white mayor is in our sights, and I laughed.
I mean, me maybe. But
no.
I live in Virginia.
And Robert White lost.
Right. Tran White lost. All the white guys lost.
Except
that's
anyways.
Nope. Didn't say it.
No, we got coalitions to build.
You can find me and the show on Twitter at ChipChat, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat, and you can find us, of course, every Thursday night here on Rip Radio at 9:30.
Rip Radio 9:30.
RipRadioNetwork.com at 9:30 p.m. every Thursday night. I'm Chip. That says you've been listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Rip Radio 9:30.